movie chat, and we're talking about 1998. I know what you did last summer. No, I still know what you did last summer. I still know. The titles are so similar that I just get confused. Oh dear. Right, let's add everybody on. Oh dear. What am I doing? And then Josh. Right, that should be it. Fingers crossed. Hi, everybody. Fingers crossed I've done it right. Hiya.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh,
Oh,
it's the
Emma.
door.
Yay.
Hello.
Hi, Emma.
Hello.
Oh, you guys are right. Sorry I was a little bit late. Long story short, I was going to have a relaxing couple of hours, and my son has bought one of them VR headsets. So he was like, try it out, and I've given myself motion sickness. So yeah, so I was a bit like, oh. So
Oh
yeah,
no.
I know I feel a little bit woozy, but yeah,
Oh,
that'll teach me. I only had like a little go on it as well, and like I'm obviously too old. But anyway.
let's go to Bahamas to get chill
Yeah.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah,
Holidays.
that's what we need.
Guys, I might drop off and come back in. I can't hear you very well or see either of you.
Oh no.
Oh no.
No.
Okay, Emma.
I don't know how to. Oh, how do I
If
get
you
out?
press, there should be like a little X. I don't want to
Oh
have.
yeah.
Yeah, got it. Yeah. 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 So yeah, definitely need holiday to the Bahamas now.
Mhm.
Love your
Yeah.
earrings.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, stabby,
So
stabby.
good.
I didn't have any hooks, otherwise I would have put the
Ah,
hooks in.
ah.
Oh dear. Um, I just saw Larissa put watch this. But like watched it a lot in the early mid-teens. Oh, okay. I can't wait to chat about this one.
Yeah.
Oh, hopefully Emma. Oh, Emma's back. She said, "Let me add her on."
She's back like a fisherman
She's back for the
for
sequel.
revenge.
Extend.
Oh dear. Right. Can you hear us, Emma?
Oh,
No, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and I can see two of you, but not you, Shelley.
Oh, it's always me.
Oh,
deny the shame.
thanks.
Oh, I'm sure you'll live. I look a bit pasty at the moment, so yeah, you're not missing out, Emma. Oh,
Bless
so
you.
thanks for joining us, guys. So today we have the brilliant. So he would definitely know the capital of Brazil is not Rio. Joshua winning.
I wouldn't know that. I would.
Oh, and she thinks hooks are overrated because it's all about the slicing and dicing because it's
Oh,
Emma with
oh, oh.
Mr. Slicey.
Oh,
Oh, you lost him.
Ah.
Yay! Hooks are overrated, aren't they, Emma? Oh, and our very special guest, she will hook you with her sequel to
I like
How to Survive a
that.
Horror Movie that is coming out. It took me all afternoon to come up with that joke. I was really proud. So yeah, there's a sequel to How to Survive a Horror Movie coming out called How to Survive a Horror Sequel, which is quite
Mm,
aptly named.
Yeah.
You'd think I'd
original, yeah.
you think that I would have planned this chat better? So it's coming out in September this year. Tell us a little more, Scarlett, because I really love this book. It was so good.
First of all, I'm terrible at describing my book. I always seem to forget what it's about. I'm like, so I do a horrible job. Please still read it. So yeah, so it's a sequel. So it picks up with our character Charlie on the run with her mother. So they end up, of course, they get a bit of a flat tire and their car ends up in some kind of rural village surrounded by woods.
Oh.
And the community are just very weirdly tight knit.
Mm.
So she gets to know some people there, and then lots of like strange ongoings. And of course, because it's a horror sequel, we've got body count, and we may have some recurring characters as well, which I can't tell you too much about. But how it
Ooh.
ended in the first is how it continues in the second,
Oh.
which has been my favorite parts to write, I would have to say. So I'm in the
Amazing.
process of redrafting it to give it a bit more of a higher body count because I think I was a bit nice to everyone in the earlier drafts.
We like
I've
that.
not killed off too many
Yeah,
people, so now
more
everyone's
death.
dying. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. More death, more death.
More death, yes. And this is like a
Blood,
great
blood,
movie as
blood.
well to be chatting about, just thinking about all the different ways that everyone died. Like,
Yeah,
yeah. And
well,
nobody moved, but we're going to talk more about that. It was a very slow hook, but then I'm not in that position, so maybe I
well, when I was thinking about, oh, who could I have on to chat about this, and I thought, oh, Scarlett's got a sequel coming out. Like that's just perfect. So then we can chat about sequels and everything. So yeah,
yeah.
and
Oh, thank you for having me.
no, you're welcome. And Josh, are you and Scarlett doing a thing at Comic Con in May?
Yes. Yeah, me and
Oh,
my
Yes.
friend
cool.
are horror fans.
Amazing. I think they were, yeah,
Yeah.
still figuring stuff out was what I heard. So that's really exciting. I'm
Yeah,
glad.
yeah. Can't wait.
Oh
Yes,
wow.
yeah, it's my first time.
It's
So
our
especially coming off of Yuck.
sequel. It's
Yeah,
our sequel as well because
it
we did a
is.
panel at 𝐤 last year. So
Oh,
Well, now we've got
so
me.
yeah.
So is it a trilogy now?
Oh,
Yeah.
A
cute.
proper franchise
Yeah, what are
going.
you doing for Christmas, Scarlett?
Yeah.
oh,
Oh, I
I
love a
love
Christmas
that.
horror.
Yeah,
Oh, that
Yeah.
would be
spin-off.
such a
Yeah.
good. That would be such a good idea, and it would be such a good panel in May. Like, hopefully, I'm going to try see
Yeah.
if I can make it. If I can, that would be
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
You too.
It's so cool. Matthew said every time I come on here, I leave with more books on the way. You're feeding my addiction. Yay! And Melina said, I've just started How to Survive a Horror Movie and absolutely loving it so far.
Oh,
Yay!
amazing. Thank you.
Yes, Matthew, more death.
Anyway.
Woohoo!
Yes.
Oh, so yeah, so this is the sequel that will hook you in. I'm going, yeah,
She's going to do it all
I'm over it
night,
now.
folks.
I'm done. But yeah, I still know what you did last summer. Obviously came out in 1998. It's a slasher film that is a sequel to I Know What You Did Last Summer. Surprise, surprise. And it's the second installment in the franchise. So the film takes place 1 year after the first film, and again follows the character of Julie James, who wins a vacation to the Bahamas with her friend group. Ooh, dum dum
Yeah.
dum. And during their vacation, they're targeted by a killer who has a very familiar hook for a hand.
Oh,
It did receive negative reviews on release, but
no.
it's
Boo.
yeah, boo.
Ah.
But it still grossed $40 million, like domestically or however they worked that out. But it had a budget apparently of between 24 and 65. It's like they can't decide.
Oh.
And that's million, 24 and 65 million. That's like a big gap between them. But yeah. And it was followed with a straight to video standalone sequel called I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer in 2006, but it didn't have any of the original cast in that. And I've never seen that. Has anyone else seen that?
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
Josh has
think
seen
there's
it.
I knew
bad.
Josh
It's
would have.
not.
Oh.
Oh,
It is not
oh,
good.
oh
Oh.
dear.
No.
Oh.
No.
See, I
Yeah.
always think when Jess, this isn't going
That's my
well.
sister. You're talking to your sister, Shelley.
So yeah, I'll just this is motion. When Josh always says, "Oh no, it's bad," I'm like, I'm
Oh,
gonna
no.
try it and see, and then I go, Josh, you were right, it was
Yeah. It's not an
bad.
endorsement when I say it's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Larissa said the difference between the 24 and the 65 million may be due to promo budget. Yeah, that maybe.
Mhm.
And Matthew says he has the third one and it's awful.
Oh,
Oh dear.
Yeah.
So was I Still Know What You Did Last Summer a first time watch, or have you seen it before? What are your memories of first seeing it, Josh?
This is about as far away from a first watch as it's possible to get. It's like I've watched this film a lot. Yeah, I was a teenager in '98 when this was released, and I was really excited about it. I loved the original film. I was a massive Scream nerd. I was all into like teen '90s teen slasher films were just my happy place. But I couldn't see it in the cinema because it was an 18 and I was too young. So I had to wait
Oh,
for the video to come out. But because this was like the beginning of the internet, the script was actually online. Because I think they released the script as a book. Like they sometimes
oh,
like publish the actual
yeah.
script as a book. So the script was online. And you could just, it was just on like a script archive website, you know, the innocent days of the early internet. You could read anything. Um,
Yeah.
so I actually read the script before I watched the
Oh,
film,
Oh,
um,
wow.
and loved the script. Thought it was really fun, really cool. Didn't see the twist coming. Was really
Mm.
like even more excited to see it when it came out. And then when I eventually did watch it, I think I must have either rented it from the video shop or maybe bought the DVD or something. Um, it's so different to the first one, like
Mm.
visually, like stylistically, it's so different. The first
Yeah.
film is like very blue, takes itself quite seriously. It's like very much about a moral question,
Mm.
whereas the sequel is like it's very loud. The music is incredibly different. It's a very
Mm.
loud film. It's just like a cheesy party popcorn kind of film in a
Yeah.
way that the first film maybe wasn't.
hmm.
So, but I love it. I think it's like super, super
Yeah.
fun. And I think it looks great. Like it looks like those 90s TV shows that we used to watch, like Dawson's Creek and stuff. It's
Yeah.
got that warm sort of glossy style to it that I think is lovely.
Mm. Yeah, and I do agree with the way it looks because I watched the first one and then went straight into the second one, and Kev watched them with me, and he's never seen the sequel, and straight away he was like, "Oh, they must have had more budget for the second
Yeah.
one because like stylistically it did look a lot different." So he noticed it, and he doesn't normally notice stuff like that. To be fair, he wouldn't mind me saying, but
Even
yeah,
her hair, even Jennifer Love Hewitt's hair, she's clearly got a hairstylist for this one.
yeah.
Whereas in the first film, it's very like flat. She's got the fringe. It's not like super stylish in any way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
she's got the
definitely.
Yeah,
highlights and like she's been working out.
yeah,
Definitely.
exactly.
Oh, so have you seen this one before, Scarlett?
I have, yes. A few people have actually posted. I can see there that they went to the video shop to get them, and that was one of my first times I saw it. Was I went to the, like, was it Blockbuster? God, it's even been so long. I'm probably showing my
Yeah,
age here, but yeah, I used to go
Blockbuster.
in, and you had to get there at a certain time because there would never be movies after, like, yeah, a particular time on a Saturday, especially. But this was one of the movies that I got out. So this is me rewatching it after. I did remember quite a lot, but I definitely agree it's louder. Like that first one was kind of more
hmm
atmospheric and it's like a lot of cool tones. What else? This one, and I don't know if they were just playing with the island vibe, but it did feel a bit like Scream 2 as well, like a step up in the
Mm,
budget movie. Where yeah, Jennifer Love Hewitt was a little bit more glossy and Hollywood like makeover,
yeah.
more so than the and but yeah, when they're in the
In the first one,
club and in the
she's wearing
karaoke.
dungarees half the film.
Yeah, yeah. And she's got the fringe that we all cut into our own hair when we were
Oh,
that age as
oh,
well.
that fringe.
Yeah, but she's got hairstylist this one, so it's just stepped up.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. How about you, Emma? It was a first time watch for you, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
I'd never seen it. I don't know why either. I think I watched more really terrible B movies than anything else, like really awful things when I was a kid. Um, but yeah, I'd never seen this one, and it was I liked it. I thought it was quite good. It
Oh,
is different from the first. Can you hear me? Sorry, guys.
Yeah,
You
can hear
can.
ya.
It is a bit different from the first. I agree with all the comments made. Um, but yeah, I thought it was good. And I liked the way it just went into her being at college or uni. Was she at uni?
Yeah, yeah, college, I think
Yeah,
maybe.
and her being more styled and more trying to be a bit more sophisticated, I think fitted with that she's
Mm,
grown up a bit.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, so yeah,
yeah,
first watch for me.
yeah. Oh, okay.
Hmm.
I'm the same. Like, I remember renting it when it came out. I don't remember seeing it at the cinema. I'm sure we rented it. Um, but the reveal, which we'll chat about later, so there will be spoilers if you haven't seen the film. The reveal stays with me to this day because, like, I just
yeah.
like I knew, like, straight away when we was watching it, and Kev was like, "Oh, is it the same killer in this one?" He was like trying to probe me to get. I'm like, "I'm not saying." And yeah, I was like, I remember fully who the killer is. I remember the exact line spoilers, that he says. But yeah, so it just stayed with me. So it must have had an impact on me back in the day to think, "Whoa, that's clever." But yeah,
I wish I'd
that's all that
have
I
watched it.
remembered, really.
I wished I'd have watched it as a teen, because I think that I would have been really impressed with that twist. But as someone that's watched so
Yeah.
many now, I guessed it, and I was like,
Oh,
I guessed it straight away. And my husband went, "How could you possibly?" And I said, "I've just seen so many." But I think as a teenager, I would have been wickedly impressed with that.
Yeah. And that's why I
yeah.
think it stayed with me all these years, because I haven't seen
Yeah,
this sequel for many, many years. And that's the first thing I remembered. I was like, remembered the hotel, and I remembered the twist, like, straight away. Because I think it's pretty clever,
yeah,
It's
to
well
be honest.
seeded. There are lots of little clues throughout that are really clever, I think.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
he doesn't,
definitely.
he hates flying, but he doesn't mind being on the boat.
yeah,
Things like
Yeah.
that. They're like,
yeah,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
Oh,
I
I didn't
didn't pick
get
that
that at
up.
the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
Oh, clever, clever, clever.
Yeah. That makes sense.
um, Matthew said, I got the trilogy as a set several years ago. Narissa said she's never been tempted by the third, thankfully. Scott said, I've heard nothing but negative about the third one.
I won't be watching that.
Melina said, first time watch for Melina.
Hey,
Yeah, and then Matthew said, I remember renting I Still Know on videotape when it came out. Fun 90s memories. Yeah. And Narissa says, got my mum to buy the rental copy from the video shop.
yeah,
oh,
Oh, do you remember when you could
oh,
do that? That's
yeah.
so cool.
Great. I
That's a
love
Pre-loved.
that.
memory I forgot about,
rummaging through the
buying X
bin.
rentals. Yeah.
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 Oh, you'd be so
Oh,
happy if you got a good one.
Oh yeah.
oh, yeah. Oh, what a memory to have forgot about, and then
Mm,
just remember that. Thanks, Narissa. Yeah, oh, I love that. Yeah, Narissa said, to be fair, it's a nicely shot film. Matthew said, I love the lighting in this one. It's almost like a cozy horror film. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
yeah.
Lots of shafts
Narissa,
of light everywhere.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Narissa said, we just had family run video shop in our wee town. Oh, that's lovely.
oh,
Matthew said they didn't have to buy a gigantic tiara for this one, so they probably freed up money for highlights and hairstylists.
Yeah.
So true.
true.
And Matthew said there's been so much time in between watches that every time I watch this one, I've forgotten who the killer is, and it's all new again. Oh,
Ooh.
that's interesting.
Yeah,
Also, he's really fit, so it's like it's quite a good distraction just how pretty he is. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
your brain goes blank because you're just admiring his gorgeous face.
Well, I was sitting there and I was like, because you know that old thing when you're watching a film, and I was like, what's he out of? What's he out of that I've seen like recently? And then it's suddenly in the middle of the night last night, I woke up and I was like, True Blood. It was
True
True Blood,
Blood.
right?
Oh.
Oh no, maybe not then. Oh, I might be wrong.
I don't know. I haven't seen True Blood.
I didn't look up because I convinced
Oh, I
myself
wonder.
that that's what I'm going to have to look it up while we're chatting now.
Gossip Girl.
Yeah, I recognized
Was he
him
in
as well,
Gossip
but
Girl?
I don't.
Oh,
He
Oh, was he?
was
maybe.
Oh
Dan
yeah,
and Jenny's
Oh,
dad,
yes.
Rufus.
Someone tell me,
Oh.
someone in the comments look up if he was in True Blood, because if not, I'm just devastated.
I don't.
Oh.
Maybe he was, but I don't remember. He was also in Band of Brothers as the guy who was just utterly fearless, just like
Yeah.
walked into the battlefield.
I love Band of Brothers. I haven't seen that for
So good.
years.
Oh, so
Sam,
is he. So confirmed it.
yeah.
Oh,
there you go,
Of course he
Shelley.
was.
wow.
Yes.
Well
Phew. Because only because I
done,
found
Shelley.
Sam fit in
Yeah.
True Blood, I was like,
Yeah.
oh la la, and I was like, I'm sure it's him. Oh,
I need to rewatch
I
Good
True
memory.
Blood.
wasn't just dreaming about him then.
Yeah.
So what for sequels then? So what are your horror rule sequels? So what do you like to see, and did this film tick any sequel boxes? So I'll start with Scarlett because obviously she's written a sequel.
Yeah.
So what do you think is like the main, tick box exercise for a sequel?
Yeah, so I think it ticked a lot of like filmmaker boxes, I would say, because you have the setting change, and I do like a little bit like the slasher in the sun. Thought it was a good change from
Yeah.
the kind of cold fishing village. So yeah, you got the setting change, you had the legacy characters, and then you've tacked on a couple of new ones as well. You've got that big milestone as well, where they're kind of like split up. Are they going to get back
Yeah.
together? So from like a love perspective, you've got that going for you. And there's a nod to the original as well, because there's a picture of Helen in the bedroom as
Oh
well.
yeah.
So I feel
Yeah.
like it ticked a
Helen.
lot of boxes in that way. But in terms of like Final Girl, like as a survivor, you thought, what's she doing? Has she not learned anything the first time round? Like the random phone call from the radio station, nobody questions it. They just jump on a plane. And then they get there and he tells it storm season. No one like turns around and everyone's more fussed about trying to get a suntan. Everyone stays for that. No one brings a weapon. I mean, the only person that's actually got like a weaponry wardrobe was Jack Black, which actually did help him out in the end. But
And why
it was,
has
yeah,
he?
exactly, yes, yeah. And then like staying in the
Oh
room with
dear.
a stranger. Ah, I know, but it had to happen though. You have to make mistakes, otherwise you're not going to get yourself in the position to let a villain come in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so true. And I saw RJ Bland said, "Oh, Jack Black's accent. Good God."
Yeah.
Oh
A little
dear.
bit
Maybe not
shocking.
now.
Yeah. That's
When I
it.
saw him, I completely forgot he was in it. I don't
Yeah,
know.
he's
Yeah.
I
uncredited
think he's very
apparently,
happy
isn't
about
he?
Oh,
that.
Yeah,
He
because
doesn't
he's
want
Yeah.
people to know he was in the film.
yeah, he's
I thought, what's he
uncredited.
doing in
Yeah,
this? And then you
yeah.
look at the date and you're like, oh yeah, it's before Jack Black was Jack Black, I guess.
Oh dear. Well, when he got killed, my husband went, "Oh well, thank God for that."
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he says,
His is the
what
most
was the
brutal death.
point?" Oh yeah,
Oh,
it was good
yes.
there,
Why
definitely.
did he have so many weapons? I
I
and
felt
why
like
didn't
there
he
He's
kill
might have been scenes
people?
paranoid.
cut. Do you think there might have been scenes cut?
Ah,
Because he didn't quite fit with the group, and I felt like there was something more that was missing. Because he
Yeah,
didn't,
yeah.
he just popped up here and there, and I'm like, what's going on with him? You know,
Do you
I
think
yeah.
felt he
he was
needed
the
to be more
backup? Do
included.
you think he was like the
Yeah.
Yeah.
second Benson, the backup son?
Oh.
And
Mm.
he was like, Ben Willis was
Oh.
like, do you know what? We've got this covered, so I'm just going to get rid of you now. I've always
Yeah.
Yeah.
hated you.
Oh, it's that scene. It's that scene though before he dies, and he kind of just looks at the weapons.
Yeah.
Like it just
Like
Yeah.
makes
that.
me laugh.
Yeah. I know he knows.
Don't notice my
Oh.
Yeah.
weapons.
And it was all displayed, like all laid out like shoes or something. And they was like,
Yeah,
oh, take a pic.
little
Like these
trophies.
yeah.
Matthew said, "Oh my God, I didn't even realise that was Jack Black."
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So Josh, what are your rules for like a horror sequel?
Um, well, it's definitely bigger and bloodier. It takes some
Mm.
big swings. I think the one thing that it didn't do that I probably would have liked to have seen was killing off a legacy character. But I
Oh.
guess you've only really got two legacy characters. You've got Ray and you've got
Mm.
Julie, so that kind of limits you slightly.
Yeah.
But I feel like Ray, he's kind of surplus to requirement anyway. So
Yeah, he wasn't needed
it wouldn't have
really
been
in this one.
a great loss
No.
if
No.
he had died.
They should have
Yeah.
just, I think this, I agree. I think they should have just done it and just like killed him off. Didn't have
Yeah.
him escape the hotel, the hospital. Oh, we might have been a hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't escape there, and they should have just killed him off. Sorry, Freddie Prinze
Yeah.
Jr.
I know.
But
I
you know,
know.
Or had him involved, or had him fighting with the nice guy, you know, had him being the
yeah,
bad boy over on the island. I would have loved that he just
Mm,
went there straight away, you
yeah.
know,
I think
without
he was
knowing about
supposed
Mr.
to.
Hookhand.
I,
Or was he?
I
yeah,
think, yeah, I think he was supposed to, and then he was making that really bad film Wing Commander, which
oh,
Oh,
meant that they had
Oh.
to cut him way, way back. Yeah.
oh,
oh,
wow,
that's a shame. There
yeah,
you
that is
go.
a shame.
See,
Yeah.
Emma's always got
I,
the best ideas, but
I
Phil just didn't allow it.
know,
No
yeah.
budget,
Oh.
Emma.
How about you, Emma? What are your like horror sequel, musts?
Well, everything that everybody said already, I agree with. And I do think that Josh is right where they, um, should have really killed off one of the originals. You
Like
can't kill your final
Randy in
girl.
Scream 2
Yeah,
remake.
exactly. You can't kill your final girl, obviously.
Mm,
But yeah, I think just bigger, better is always good, isn't it? But also, I feel like with the sequel, you've got your legend laid down, so really you have to add to it.
mm,
And
mm,
I didn't think it added to it, as it could have. I don't know
mm,
why was the son doing his dad's bidding, and I wasn't sold on that really. I didn't really know why he
mm.
teamed up with Psycho Dad
Mm.
to do this. I'm not sure. And the whole thing where the setup is they've got this random phone call, as everybody was saying. Why did they pay for 4 people to fly to the Bahamas and then put them up in this hotel only to kill them off? I'm like, hello, how much money have you got? You're only a fisherman. What are you doing? Where's he got all this cash? So I'm a bit miffed as to how that actually works. And did anyone even, like, oh, that's a great idea to get them there? And I'm like, is it though? So that miffed me a
That's
little
so true.
bit.
I could have done with like a little bit of a backstory on like what happened, how did he get out the water from the first one, after the whole boat scene. Like
Yeah.
just a little cut scene just to explain that just a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Because then I think it had an impact, but I think it would have been more of an impact then. So then it's like revenge, let's get my son involved, pure revenge, seal the
Yeah.
deal. That would have been cool. But it is true. They didn't have a budget.
Yeah.
They were just like kill, 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 kill. Oh dear.
Yeah,
So
the backstory as well about why he was working at the hotel and like the kids and then the wife as well, that kind of subplot. I felt like it was very quickly
yeah.
summarized. And again, that might just be
Mm.
poor editing where it was all cut out. But I felt
Yeah.
we just got
Yeah.
that story very quickly. Like what was the history with the hotel? I couldn't quite
Yeah.
figure it out.
Oh yeah, the history about the room
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
room
Exactly.
202.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
And how does that link? How does that
Yeah.
link with
Yeah.
the
It was briefly
legend?
mentioned. Yeah,
Mm.
there was a couple of like weird stares where she named the room when she said where she was staying, and then it was
Mm,
like thrown in at the end. But I would have liked to see that sort of carried on,
Yeah.
just if it is like it sort of alluded it to maybe being haunted because something had happened to the house, but
yeah.
it didn't really go anywhere. It just was
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, we forgot about that room. Let's try and tie it up at the end and
Yeah.
link it to link it to Ben
Yeah.
Willis.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that actually with the
Hmm.
I
rooms.
guess because so he had 2 kids, he had a daughter and a son. So Will Benson was the son, and the daughter was Susie from the first film who died in the car accident, is that right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
With David Egan. So it
Yeah.
kind of ties in, but it's a bit it's a
Yeah.
bit of a leap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Loosely ties in.
Yeah.
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 That was
So
Yeah.
is it meant?
that was like a directive from the studio. When the studio hired the guy to write the script, they
Yeah.
said that it had to have Julie Jones as the main character. It had to be, I think it was like it had to be a holiday destination,
Oh,
possibly. And the
nice.
third thing was he had to have a sort of like a backup killer to continue the legacy of Ben Willis. So that's why they had the son as
Oh.
the twist. So
Yeah.
all of this
Interesting.
all the big stuff was from the studio.
Yeah.
Mm,
Oh
Okay.
wow, that's
okay.
good. And
Yeah.
what did you think of the setting of the hotel? Like that whole, you know, the way that they used that as an isolated setting, which we all love a good isolated setting.
Hmm.
And obviously the atmosphere, like Scarlett mentioned earlier. Did you like that setting, Josh?
I did, yeah. I thought it was a fun idea to take a place that didn't seem scary on the surface
Mm,
and then be like, no, actually, if you're stuck here, you are actually fucked. It's like
yeah,
extreme season. You're completely alone. There's no way off this island, as Julie says.
yeah.
Um, yeah, like there was a part of me, teenager, that was a bit sad that they didn't spend more time at college.
Mm,
I
Mm.
guess they didn't because Scream 2 obviously has its college setting as well.
Mm.
yeah.
But I I liked seeing. I'm always like I'm a real sucker for like the stuff that happens before the plot kicks in. So I liked seeing Julie at college. I liked seeing her home environment. I liked
Mm,
seeing how her life had been affected by everything that happened in the last couple of years. You know, she's got four locks on the door. She's got a knife by the bed. She's got mace on her
Mhm.
keychain.
mm,
I kind of wanted to see more of her life,
Yeah.
but then, you know,
yeah.
she's suddenly whisked off to this island resort and it all just turns into like a sort of a fairground ride, horror
Mm,
fairground situation. So, yeah,
yeah.
on one hand, I really liked it and thought it was really fun, but it doesn't have much rewatchability. It doesn't have the same rewatchability that maybe if they'd stayed at college, that would have had,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
there was less emotional grounding, maybe.
Yeah. No, that's true.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. Did you like the setting, Emma, of the hotel and being isolated off?
Yeah, I mean, I do like a spooky building and a locked room. Well, if it's on an island, you're locked on the island. I do like that that kind of setting. Yeah, I thought it was really good. I mean, I like anything that's a bit different, like like Lost Boys is set in the beach and
Mm,
vampires don't go out in the
mm.
sun. This is on an island where you're supposed to be having fun, and then who's going to come killing you on on your holiday?
Yeah.
So, but I did think as soon as I saw the shots of the place, I said to Chris, that's not the Bahamas. Now, I've never been to the Bahamas. I have been to Hawaii, though, and I'm like, this is not a tropical island. Where is this?
Mm,
So,
mm.
yeah, I was a bit not convinced as to where they were, which I thought was a bit of a shame because it didn't look like the Bahamas. And I felt,
Mhm.
why not just stay where it is then? Don't use the Bahamas, use the place you've gone to, which I think might have been
Mm.
Mexico or, yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
was it? I was gonna
Yeah.
ask. Yeah. Okay.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was that bit where they get off the boat initially when they get to the island always reminds me of the Scooby-Doo film. That came probably after, when they go to the spooky island. It just
yeah,
reminds
Oh.
me of that, when they step off the boat and they're walking down the like pier thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just reminds me of that, and it's probably not even anything like that, but every time I see it, that's what I think of. Oh, how about you, Scarlett? Did you like the isolated setting?
I did, yeah. I can see Josh's point, like, because I did want more of the college, because I feel like she was a bit more of a final girl there, like the locks and the weapons, and then when she seemed to go on holiday, she just sort of forgot it all, and she's like drinking dark and
Yeah.
stormies and doing karaoke and everything like that. But I can see it, like the point of it, if it's Scream 2, it would actually be quite similar, because they weren't that far apart. Like, you're wise, aren't you not?
No,
no.
So, yeah, so you
definitely not.
kind of had to shift it out. You couldn't have another college
Mm,
slasher. So I think the island setting they definitely needed it. And you don't have a lot of kind of sunny slashers either. I mean you've got
mm,
like the ruins or Turistas or you got a lot of like island but kind of like Wicker Man sort of style, kind of like
yeah.
dreamy sort of island, but you didn't really have like that kind of sunny sort of you expect to relax and
Mm,
it leads you into a false
mm,
sense of security. And then it's like the storm hits and then it's all coming for her. So I
yeah.
think it worked well.
Yeah. I think I did like the contrast of you got quite a slow burn to start with, essentially seeing her daily life. She's having these nightmares, as you mentioned, like locking the doors, all safe and sound. And then just in the split second, you get that excited. You're going on holiday, full relaxation mode, and it all goes out the window. And I kind of like that contrast
Mhm.
of like she felt more safe going on holiday away
Yeah.
from it all than she did in at
Yeah, that's
college
true.
in her room. And it's
Yeah.
just psychologically that's quite clever, really. I kind of like that
Yeah.
idea of like you feel more safer away from it all than you are in it all, even though
That's
she
Yeah.
true.
wasn't
Yeah.
safe. Yeah, so I
Yeah.
kind of like that. Yeah,
And even what
so
Emma
cool.
was saying as well, she's probably thinking like, who's going to spend all this money taking me
Yeah,
off on this
exactly.
Yeah.
holiday? Who's going to have that extravagant a plan to enact revenge on me?
A bit over the top.
Oh,
Yeah.
OTT. Oh dear, I just catch up on some comments. So Sam, who I mentioned in True Blood, he owned the restaurant in True Blood,
Mm.
and yes, he ran naked through the woods in True Blood as well, and it was very
Mm.
unforgettable. Matthew said,
Oh,
definitely. Scott said it follows the rules of a sequel that Scream 2 established very well. Yeah, definitely. If you think of Randy's rules that he sets out in Scream 2, it just kind of gives you a higher body count, definitely. It's got more budget, it's got it's got more high stakes, I guess. Yeah. Scott said, didn't he find out that his wife was having an affair in the hotel? Oh, so is that
Okay. So that's
that's what it
Mm.
was.
Oh, and he was
Okay.
watching through that creepy
Oh
ceiling mirror.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah,
oh
Yeah.
yeah, I
Gross.
forgot
I
about
forgot about
that.
that.
yeah,
That was
Yeah.
creepy.
yeah.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh.
Oh
And I
God,
love
can you
how he
imagine it?
maneuvers it so that she actually stays in that room as well. Like she's like,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, that's my bedroom. It's not his
Yeah.
bed. It's
Yeah.
my bed. You know?
Oh dear. If I stayed in that room and anyone was looking at me, they'd just see like a bit of drool on the old pillow. They'd be like, "Oh God, can we block this mirror off? We'll let her survive." Oh dear. Scott said, I really enjoyed the isolated hotel setting, especially with the storm raging outside. I thought it was a good atmosphere. Hiya. Crime and puzzlement. Hello. So a lot of people didn't like the title of the film. So they said that the title of this film is illogical because really it should be I Still Know What You Did 2 summers ago, because that's when the
Yeah.
original accident happened. So
True.
what did you think of the title? What would you rename it to? Or is it like just really difficult for titles in general? Like when you're all writers, like is it really hard to come up with a good title, Emma?
I think sometimes a title will just come and smack you in the face, and that's what it is.
Yeah.
But other times your publisher, which has happened to me, has chosen the title rather than you. So yeah, it is hard. I think sometimes it is hard, and other times it's just like magic. I don't know what it is for other people. I did think that title was rather ridiculous because the whole point of that title is, I know what you did and I'm going to expose you. Whereas this movie, it doesn't make sense. I still won't know what you did and I'm still going to tell everyone you did it. You know, it's like they were worried about people finding out that they'd done this. They're not worried this time round because everybody knows they killed him. It's all been, so the title makes no sense at all. And I probably would have just called it something like you're all gonna die this summer. Yeah, or something like that. You know, because I was thinking about it and I was thinking it's quite a hard sequel to give a title to because the epic title of the first one. So, you know,
Yeah.
Scream 2,
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
So, you know, Nightmare on Elm Street 1, Nightmare on Elm Street 2, you know, it's easy. Yeah, but this, they've set themselves up for failure with that great first title. So, yeah, you're all going to
Definitely.
die this summer would have made more sense, I think.
Oh. Oh, how about you, Scarlett? What did you think? Could you
I,
rename it?
it's a tricky one to rename because you've got like what the original inciting event from 2 years ago, and then you got the last summer where they did actually try to kill him off again. So it's like
Mm,
how do you include all of that in one title? I do like that it's long because I like a long title.
yeah.
'Cause it gives it, even though it's supposed to be like a serious slasher, but it gives it a little bit of kind of fun
Yeah.
to it as well.
Yeah.
Like
And
I was
that's
trying
and
to
it's
think of
the
the
opposite
most.
of Scream. Scream is
Yeah.
one
Yeah,
word.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, exactly. And most like kind of horror movies are usually just like one or two words
Mm,
really. But then
Mm.
you've got like the silly ones that like shriek if you know what I did last Friday
Yeah,
the 13th or
yeah.
yeah.
something. And when I was thinking of my title, I was like, I want the longest title possible. Like I want it to be like the words are crushed on that cover page and I'm trying to squeeze it in.
Yeah.
I had to reel it back, I think. They were not having any of that. So
Oh, I love that. How about you, Josh?
Yeah, they really sort of like wrote themselves into a corner with that because at least with Friday the 13th, you just kind of assume it's taking place on Friday the 13th in the sequels.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to explicitly say he's back and it's Friday the 13th, guys. You know, it's just
Uh-oh.
taken as yeah, exactly. But
Yeah.
I think purely, I'm looking at this little thing, this little book that I've got. I
Oh
just think
yeah,
that
it was so cool.
stylistically, I just think it works so well. It
Yeah,
looks so, oh, got a thumbs
Mhm.
up. I think it just looks so cool,
yeah, it
Yeah.
um,
does.
that I can overlook the logic,
Yeah,
or lack thereof.
yeah.
But
No, I agree with that. Whoever marketed it, Mark, I can't speak. Whoever did that did a really good job because visually, it does stand
Mhm.
out to you, and you're like, oh,
hmm
even like the font is just like
yeah,
pure slasher font.
yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
Mhm.
Definitely. Matthew said, I think I remember eye rolls at the title when this one came out.
I mean, they could have just changed it to "I still know what you did that summer." It wouldn't have been that
Yeah,
different.
Yeah, that would
Yeah,
have been fine.
that's true,
yeah, that
actually.
They,
summer, yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
definitely.
Mm.
Yeah, Narissa said, well, last summer they did Leave Him for Dead, just like they did the summer 2 years ago.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scott says, maybe I still remember what you did that summer.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
The part worker comic reader said, I have a fair idea what you're going to do next spring. I like that one. And Matthew said, well, it was 90s horror. So, well, it was 90s horror, so logic was, what's that word?
Tertiary.
Tertiary
Mhm.
concern.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Out the
Testing my
window,
words.
in other words.
Yeah, like, God, it was the 90s. Oh dear. So we do have quite a high body count in this one, as we
Mhm.
mentioned. That's what we like in our sequel. So I think the body count was 10 when I went through my head and counted. So did you have a favourite death scene, Josh?
This is a bit of a random one, but I thought the scene with Derek the dockhand guy, when
Oh,
he falls in the water and then he's in the water and then Ben Willis is like standing above him and he just, I don't know, it's not a particularly exciting one, but I think Ben Willis looks really cool in it.
yeah.
And it's very like a super atmospheric moment.
Mm,
It's probably the least gory of all the deaths because you don't actually see
yeah.
any penetration.
Yeah.
You just see the swing and the blood.
Yeah.
So yeah, just for like atmosphere and just Ben Willis delivering as a creepy fisherman, I think
Yeah.
that's probably my favorite.
Mhm.
Ah, I like that. How about you, Scarlett? Did you have a favourite death?
I thought the first one, because I actually forgot about the hook. So when he drags the friend out the pickup truck
Oh,
and then he
Oh yeah.
pulls him out through the
oh
window, you're like,
yeah.
oh, that
That is
hurt.
cool.
So
Ugh.
that one I thought, oh yes, it's the hook. It reminded me, it got me into like the fisherman vibe, and then I remembered. So after that, I was like, they're all dying by that hook. But I was
Yeah.
gutted, I think, with the bartender one because I really liked her character, and
Oh,
I
that
think
was
that
such a cool death as well,
yeah, and
though.
that guy just happened to fall on her, and I felt gutted for her because I really thought she was going to be a final girl, and I
Oh,
I
thought, oh, she
Yeah.
got a
that one
chance
annoyed
I get
there.
me.
that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
But she
I
would have
want to see
pushed
her fight
him off.
back.
Why didn't she
No,
push him off? Does anyone know?
she
Because
just couldn't. It was.
he's heavy.
when you're in an adrenaline situation, you get strong. I know because it's happened
Mm,
to me. You get strong. I've grown in height in an adrenaline situation. So I wonder why she didn't just get the adrenaline to push it. I was like, come on, push him off. You know,
yeah.
the adrenaline's there.
Because she looked
But
like
yeah,
she'd kick some ass if she needed
Yeah.
to, right?
yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah,
Oh.
And she
it was
killed her
just.
husband.
It was just so that yeah, just so that you could get that cool death of the like skewer.
I
I
That's
know.
really
it.
like
Oh,
that, but I feel like they staged it a bit poorly because the way he lands on her, she's only
mm.
going to get skewered in the stomach, and that's fine. That's not going to kill you. You
It's
know,
all right.
Not
it just didn't.
You just
It
completely
just
shish
didn't.
kebab.
overreacted.
Yeah.
Oh dear. How about you, Emma? Did you have a favourite death scene?
Yes, Brandy's boyfriend. Is it Trey? Was it Troy?
Oh,
Trey? Yeah, because
yeah, that was
that was
so
so out of the
cool.
blue. I did not see it coming. I wasn't ready for it, and I went, oh, because I wasn't
Yeah,
ready. So I thought that was really clever. That was brilliant. Chef's
yeah.
kiss. Yeah, because I wasn't, and then I was like, oh, I really liked him. The poor guy just wanted to have a good time on his holiday, and everyone was ruining it.
That was a good jump scare. That would have,
Yeah,
if I was watching that in the cinema, that would have definitely got me. Like if I didn't know it was coming,
yeah.
it was really, really good. I really liked. Now I had to look this up just to make sure that I wasn't losing the plot, but I really liked the hotel manager's death
Oh,
because obviously you
yeah.
get that iconic "I still know" behind him, but there's also two commas, I think, on in the wording or somewhere on there. It looks like two commas, and obviously he picks up about the comma after
Oh.
the name when they're checking in, and I was like,
Oh
that's
no!
comical. That is a good
Oh,
a little nod to like that scene, but obviously there was
Ah.
only certain people around in that scene, so it was trying to obviously set up a red herring. But I was just like,
Mm,
that's actually quite clever, and hats off to
yeah.
whoever came up with that. And I did look it up just to make sure. I was like, was that like a double comma thing, or what was the comma for? And it did confirm they did it like as a little red herring to try and
No way.
pass it off onto one of the friends, yeah,
I
who was
didn't
there at the
notice
time.
it. Oh,
Yeah,
I
and I
didn't
was just
notice
like,
I
it.
didn't
I
notice.
appreciate that.
I'll have to go
Oh,
back.
done,
Little
Shelley.
comma. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's only because I was like, oh, what's that? And pause. Oh dear. Kev's like, why are you pausing it? And I was like, oh, just need to look this up. So I sound clever for once. Oh dear. Matthew said the poor housekeeper, she just wanted to do her job and she didn't even leave because of the storm. She didn't deserve
Mm,
what she got.
Oh
Oh,
no.
Yeah, Olga.
yeah.
poor love.
Oh, is
Yeah.
that her name, Olga?
Yeah.
Oh, rest in peace,
Oh.
Olga. Melina said, I really wanted Nancy the bartender to survive.
Oh.
Yeah, she was a cool character,
Mm.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was final girl potential. Oh.
Yeah.
I'm sure I heard somewhere that she was supposed to live and Carla was supposed to
Yeah.
die.
Yeah. So
Oh,
Ah.
I
Yeah.
wrote down here
Hmm.
the fate of Nancy and Carla. So in the scene when they get the first aid kit, initially was reversed with Carla dying and then Nancy surviving,
Mm.
which I find
Ah.
really interesting. So do
Right.
you think that Carla was worthy of that change, like to be the final girl alongside Jenny? Scarlett?
Yeah, I would have said yes, but I felt when Jenny went down, she didn't really do much to help her. Like she did just kind of
Yeah.
stand there for a while. So then after that, I was like, no, she doesn't deserve that title.
Oh yeah. When I say Jenny, obviously I mean Julie as
Oh,
well,
is
not Jen.
it? Who's the
Yeah, it's
bartender? Oh, bartender's Nancy.
Nancy,
Sorry.
and then I'm getting it muddled up
I
with
called her
obviously Jennifer Love
Jenny. Yeah.
Hewitt. No, it was me. It was me. I meant to say Julie.
Jenny
I'm
Love
getting all my
Nancy.
names muddled up tonight. It's so confusing. um, Josh, do you think that Carla was a good addition to Final Girl?
Yeah, I liked her. Like I grew up with Brandy as Moesha,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
the boy is mine, the boy is mine, the boy is mine. I was
Mm,
obsessed with her. So I thought she was great, and I liked that she got to do something that wasn't super clean and sort of like good girl. She had a bit of an edge. She was a bartender.
mm.
Like when they all do a shot, they do a drink, and she's just sort of like completely unfazed by how strong that drink is.
Yeah.
She's just like she's too cool. She's too cool.
She's like,
So
yeah.
yeah, I thought she was great. I did feel like she just ran away a lot.
Mm.
I felt okay. I felt sorry for the fact that she kept getting pushed through glass things.
Yeah,
Um,
she did.
she would have been cut to shreds.
Yeah.
I very much enjoyed the fact, like the dark humor of the fact that she couldn't get away from the dead maid. Like she found her in the tumble dryer, like
Yeah.
holding her hand in the bunker,
Oh,
like
yeah.
she
Yeah.
can't escape this maid.
Yeah. She had some really good scenes, didn't she? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
definitely.
I
Oh,
did
and
read that. I did read that Brandy said that because they were all contracted for a third film, and she said
oh,
that she would only come back for a third film if she got to actually kick some ass rather than just run away the whole time.
oh
Hmm.
wow.
So I think she
Ah,
noticed as well that she
Yeah.
wasn't really punching.
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
How about you, Emma? Did you think Carla was worthy of being a final girl over Nancy and alongside Julie?
I'm with Josh on the running away because they set her up, and this is a big no-no for me in storytelling. No, no, no. You don't set her up with a punching bag, kicking and punching the bag, and then
Oh,
not follow it through when she's
oh
kicking and punching the bad guy.
yeah,
Big no-no, you know? So I was
yeah,
really cross because I was like, why would you have her doing that? And I was like, gosh, she's going to kick his ass in a minute. I'm so looking forward to this stuff. I've never seen Brandy do that. And she didn't kick his
yeah.
ass. And I was like, no! And then not just that, they put the microphone at the karaoke in Jennifer Love Hewitt's hands, and we were robbed of Brandy's voice.
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
I was just like, what are
That's
you
so
doing?
true.
Why would you? She's got a fair voice, Jennifer has, but Brandy's a singer. But why did you not? Why did you not?
Yeah.
That's bizarre. So
Even a
I would have done
duet. A
Mhm.
duet
anything.
would have been cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 But I
You
think
know
the
what? I bet
bartender,
it's
after she's
because,
go on, Josh.
sorry,
What
I
do you
bet
think it
it's
is?
because The Boy Is Mine was #1 in the charts when she was shooting this film. So I
Oh.
bet there was a contractual thing that said she can't
Yeah.
do music for the film because
Right.
she's got another deal somewhere
That's the
else.
shame. Oh,
Yeah.
that would be a shame.
Missed
But
Yeah.
as
out
for
there.
the bartender, she said she shot her husband. I believed her.
Yeah.
So I was hoping she'd have a gun in her back pocket, and when the guy fell on
Oh
her,
yeah.
she would just poof it off, bang bang, have some of that. So I would have
Yeah.
liked, her to do that. And I think if you're gonna have a final girl, I think everybody needs to be dead. In my opinion, I think that
Mm.
all of them needed to be dead. Maybe the boyfriend can survive, but for me, she needs to see her friend die. I'm sorry, that's really horrible.
Kill the
Well,
friend.
effectively,
Yeah.
I did like the contrast of obviously Helen died in the original, so you kind of expecting Brandy to die, being the friend, and then she didn't. However, a little bit controversial. I
Ooh,
would have liked it to be at the end just Carla, and that they would have killed off um
right.
Julie. Only
Whoa.
Oh,
because
Oh.
going back to Josh's thing about killing legacy characters, like I think that would have been a cool ending, and then leaving Carla as the final girl. Like I just think that would have been pretty cool. Like
Yeah.
I would have
ooh.
watched that.
But Shelley, can Carla kick the ass of the other guy that's
Yeah,
killed her friends? Like, get really.
let's just say yeah, she
Yeah.
can because she's like underused in that respect. Let's do it.
I'm on board with that.
No, I think it would have been cool because I just think Brandy did such a good job. Like, and yeah, I thought she was brilliant.
She
And like
was.
Nerissa said, there's a couple of really good one-liners with "What are you going to do? Butter him to death?" Like
Yeah.
when Julie's holding the knives up. Yeah, such classic lines. Nerissa said Julie needs to have at least one friend who doesn't die. Yeah, that's true.
Mm.
I mean,
um, Melina said, yes, Emma, I thought the same with the singing. And Nerissa said, pretty sure Jennifer Love Hewitt had an album at the time.
Mm.
Oh.
That would explain.
She was huge in Japan.
she's
Was she?
She
got a fair voice.
had a couple of
Yeah,
albums
yeah.
Ah.
and they were massive in Japan.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Oh.
Mm.
Matthew said they had to set up for her to sing I Will Survive.
Yeah.
So imagine that you are trapped on a resort and it's the bad weather's rolling in and there's only a karaoke machine in sight for your pure entertainment. What song are you going to sing on the karaoke machine? So Emma?
Well, I will do the one that I always go to when I get a microphone in my hand and I've had too many to drink. Because it'll be Girls Just Want to Have Fun by Cyndi Lauper.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
I can clear a pub with that because I cannot sing a note. So if you ever want people to get out your pub, just give me the microphone.
I love that. How about you, Josh? What would you sing?
I've got a couple that I would sing if I had to. I don't love it. But I just purely for novelty value, I like to sing Tina Turner's Private Dancer.
Oh, I like
Yeah.
that.
It's a
That's
good
cool.
song. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. How about you, Scarlett?
I'm not a singer either, so I would be crying in a corner if someone handed me a microphone. But I could maybe get through like Summer '69, possibly.
Oh, good
I
Yeah.
could do a
choice.
female voice. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good choice, that
Mm.
is. I think for me, like my go-to karaoke, and I haven't done karaoke for years, is like Black Velvet. Oh, that's a
Oh, that's a
karaoke song.
classic.
Ah.
But I think in this situation, I'd choose the Grease melody
Oh,
Mm.
because you've got
right.
a whole variety of like different emotions going on in the song.
Just wait,
So
I would just hook myself if you did
it would be, honestly, it would be pure entertainment. You'd go on the journey of Greece. Like, you'd forget about the hooked man, killer going around the hotel. Pure entertainment.
I need to see this, Jenny. We're going to a karaoke bar. I need to see this.
I'd even do the bit where they go, ooh, walla, walla, ooh. I'd even do the actions.
I'll video
Just,
it for everybody.
Yeah. We'll do it live on Instagram.
just, yeah. I'd get blocked. Instagram would be like, what the hell? Let's get rid of her off Instagram. Oh dear.
Jenny.
Matthew says, I've only ever done Islands in the Stream on karaoke.
Yeah,
So
it's a good
probably that one, and it would have worked in the movie. Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
good one.
it would
Oh,
have.
true.
yeah.
Oh dear. And believe it or not, I didn't answer my own question when I wrote the question, so I did just make that grease thing up on the spot. I was thinking, what would I sing? What would I sing? I'm a bit worried about myself now. So apparently this was the last time that Jennifer Love Hewitt appeared in a horror film,
Ah.
because she didn't want to be typecast as a scream queen. But
Mm.
where does Jennifer Love Hewitt sit on your scream queen scale? And do you wish we saw her in more horror films, Josh?
I think that in this series, she's sort of very much the wholesome, dependable girl next door. She's got a bit more fight in this one. In the first film,
Mm,
she's she kind of lets Ray do a lot of the fighting. She does lots of running around. At least in this one, she actually does kind of arm herself. She gets an axe.
mm,
She's trying to tell everyone what's happening. So she's better in this one. She's still not like a Sydney Prescott
mm.
type. She's not on the same level. I
No.
think I think the problem, the innate sort of problem with this film, in terms of her character, is that they set up this idea that maybe she is imagining everything, but
Yeah.
we as the
Mm.
audience find out very quickly that the fisherman is back because he kills Ray's friend in the car. So
Ah.
any sort of ambiguity around her sort of mental state is kind of lost, and I think the film loses a bit of um,
Mm.
sort of nuance from that, maybe.
Yeah, it's a bit
So,
more mystery. If
yeah,
we thought maybe she was imagining it.
right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like, but she's. I think
Mm.
you still root for her. You still want her to survive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You still like
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
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 How about you, Scarlett? Where does she sit on your like scream queen scale of horror movie
Yeah, I
girls?
think she did step up from the first one, like Josh was saying. I'm really curious to see how she gets on with the next one because I
Mm,
think she needs to step it up even
Get
more
a shotgun,
because we need
yeah,
to see a bit
Julie.
more fight.
yeah,
Yeah, because she is like if you're comparing her to like Sydney Prescott, Gail Weathers, like Laurie from I can't remember her second name from Halloween.
yeah,
So she's not quite there with the fight for the final girl yet.
yeah. No, I
Imagine if
agree
in the
with
new
that.
film she's just replaced both her hands with hooks and she's just like
Yeah,
completely
that,
crazy and she's
that's
like,
what
I'm
I want to
ready for you.
see.
And a
Yeah.
hook coming out of her head, Josh. One out of her head so she can whack him like a unicorn.
Oh, and I love how Emma can't see me, but we both did like hook motions at the same time then, Emma. It was like synchronized.
Oh, great minds.
I know. Oh dear. How about you, Emma? Where does she sit on your Scream Queen scale?
I agree with everything that's been said there. She's not got enough feistiness in her. The final girl for me has to be, you know, she can start off a bit meek and really scared, but then she has to find her, like in hide and seek with the bride. You know, she was brilliant, and I can't remember that actress's name,
Oh
but
yeah.
Sigourney Weaver, you know, her final girl moments of epic, and Jamie Lee Curtis epic. So I think that she needed a bit more bite. I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, she's very good actress, but I think they didn't make her. They really needed to get a bit angry, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sick of this.
Yeah.
You're in trouble.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
agree with that. And I think for me as well, I don't know what you guys think, but I feel like Freddie Prinze Jr.'s role watered it down a little bit for her at the end, because she did have an opportunity to, like, we didn't need him there at that final moment. She could have just kicked some ass, got the job done, and then, you know, I think she would have rated a little bit higher on my final girl scale,
Yeah.
Scream Queen scale then.
And can
But I
I
just
just
feel
say,
like
Debbie,
they didn't need him. Yeah.
why did the girls were all running around with their bras out?
Yeah.
Why, when the boys had a fight, they weren't bare fighting in the mud? I mean, why were they not bare chested fighting in the mud? Hello, why were the girls having to wear their bras and, you know, nipples through the dressing gown, and we got no nipple action from the boys in the mud? I was just like, come on.
The 90s. It's just the 90s.
Oh,
Boy
That's
director.
what we're gonna blame. But yeah, but I do feel like they could have just got rid of his role in this or killed him off very early on, and they didn't need him to come and save her, in my opinion. She could
no.
have done it herself. Albeit I know she didn't have a gun, but she would have worked it out. She would have worked it out. I have faith.
Yeah, she
you
could have
essentially just
saved
brought her
him.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all he did. He went through all that hassle just to
Yeah.
bring her a
He
gun.
could have
Yeah.
just Amazon packaged up the gun and sent it to her, and
Yeah.
then she would have stopped.
And it was a little gun, wasn't it? It was like a
Yeah.
revolver. Yet when she was shooting the guy, he was like smashing backwards like he was being shot with a shotgun. Did you notice that? I was like, what the hell? He's just got this little revolver and bang, boom, back into the grave. I was like, holy crap.
Yeah.
That gun wouldn't do that, surely.
What she could have just done then is put all the mud on top of him. Jobs are good and then, you know.
Yeah.
She didn't need Ray there in that moment, I don't think, anyway.
I agree.
And then, you know, I think it would have sealed the deal more on her being, you know, a fully fledged final girl. She did it all on her own without Ray. Larissa said Julie James isn't exactly memorable when you think of other final girls. I really like to see Jennifer in horror now as a more mature actress. Melina says,
Melina.
So are you excited for obviously the Legacy sequel? So that's coming out this year, right? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's finished shooting tomorrow. It's crazy how close it is to.
So what are you hoping? Because we don't know much about it, or I've tried not to look too much up, but what are you hoping from the Legacy, the third one? Scarlett? What are you hoping will happen?
Said it picked up. I mean, this is just one article that it picked up exactly where it ended, and I thought, how could it do that? Because she was being dragged under a bed, so then she would just reappear.
Well, in the first one, they did that whole end scene with the bathroom, which obviously going into the sequel, you're taking it that was part of her nightmares, I'm guessing, to try and get around that. So maybe. But
I wondered that as well. I had a little look at the cast. I didn't recognize too many people, but I wonder if it's going to be like their kids and then they're being kind of tormented. So I'm curious to see where they take it. But I think this time around, sadly, a legacy character needs to die.
Yeah.
Ray is like so
let's get rid of Ray.
He's dead. Boring Ray.
running from that pickup truck. I thought, I'm going to take that pickup truck and kill him myself if he absolutely did. I can run better than that.
Spoken like a true horror writer.
Yeah.
Oh dear. How about you, Emma? What are you hoping for from this legacy? It's not a sequel, is it? It's like, I don't know, the third one.
It's a requel.
A requel?
Yeah,
It's a reboot sequel.
Oh,
the
okay.
reboot sequel. I don't know. Well, and Jennifer Love Hewitt is in it.
Yeah, and Freddie
Yeah.
Prinze Jr. Unfortunately, no Brandy though. I'm really sad.
Oh, that would have. Why? Oh my gosh. Well, I would have.
Cameo.
Yeah, I'd love. I'd love to see Brandy again. That would be amazing. But I'd love her to be completely and utterly nuts. I would like her to be, the whole experience just have made her completely bonkers. You know, and then when it starts happening again, no one's going to believe a word she's saying because she's, you know, crazy. And maybe then she does go crazy. Maybe she goes bloodthirsty. Yeah, like Josh says, he's got all the hurts.
Yeah.
You know? Something like that would be cool.
Secret compartment, like, welcome to my lair.
Chucking them, like throwing stars.
Weapons.
Oh, how about you, Josh? What are you hoping for?
I was thinking along similar lines. I feel like she needs to be like the Missy character in the first film.
Yeah.
So that was Anne Hesh
Oh,
in
yeah.
Countryside in her like blood spattered apron.
Yeah.
Very lonely, a bit weird.
Yeah.
I kind of, I don't really want to see her happily married to Ray in some beautiful house by the beach. I think that would be so boring.
Yeah.
So hopefully they did not get together. She realized that he was too dull. She's doing her own thing. She's probably a bit weird, a bit isolated. Maybe she's a bit like, have you seen that film Copycat with Sigourney Weaver, where she's she's agoraphobic. She's an expert, but she's agoraphobic.
Yeah. Maybe she's doing voodoo.
Maybe.
Voodoo? You do.
She's like, Estes was trying to save us all along. I remember actually that after the second film came out, there were so many fan theories online, and there was one fan theory that, you know, there's the woman on the bus who keeps looking at Ray.
Oh yeah.
The woman with the white hair. She's like, you know, people were like, that's Ben Willis's mum, and she's going to come back in the third one.
Whoa.
Okay.
Why not?
Could happen. Oh dear. Well, yeah, I don't really know what I'm expecting. I'll be honest. Like, and obviously I've banned myself from watching trailers this year of films because they just give too much away. So when the trailer comes out, I want to go into it and not know anything that's going to happen and just be hopefully pleasantly surprised and be like, oh, that was awesome. That's all I want. I just want to go, that was awesome. And then I'll be happy. I'm happy Shelley.
I mean, kind of, all bets are kind of off because the first two films are so vastly different that they don't really have to hit anything specific in order for it to feel like it's part of the franchise. They can kind of do whatever they like, really.
Yeah, that's so true. Have any of you seen the TV series?
I was going to ask that. No, I didn't.
Oh, Josh is giving me
look at
Josh's face.
I felt really bad because I interviewed the showrunner before the show came out. I interviewed her for SFX magazine, and she was really lovely, really fun, but she wouldn't. I kept saying to her, like, so is there going to be a fisherman? And she was like, we're trying to do something a bit different. And I was like, if there isn't a fisherman, then it's not I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah. So they didn't do a fisherman.
No fisherman.
Mistake.
Oh no.
Don't know. I did get cancelled after one season.
Sorry. Sorry, me and Josh have just been a bit rude there.
What's new?
No, I tried to get away with that then. Okay, so they changed it. That's interesting. I haven't seen it. I was too like, I'd heard too many bad things. I was like, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. Oh dear. Matthew said she's no on about she's no Sydney or Laurie Strode, being a screen queen. Yeah. One sec. I didn't know. So Matthew said, I didn't know anything about it. I didn't even know they were making it. So obviously about the third sequel film. And Melina said she didn't know there was a legacy film coming out as well. Oh, so maybe they've not done a very good of promoting it at the moment then, maybe.
No.
Narissa said, Narissa said mixed feelings about it, too much love for Lois Duncan, and I know she'd be upset. Yeah, because they really did change a lot from the book with the first film, a lot. Matthew said that they could be old enough to have adult or nearly adult kids makes my head spin. Hard to believe this was nearly 30 years ago. Yeah.
Wow.
Matthew said, didn't they mention Requill in Burn the Negative, Josh?
Oh, I don't think they did, because I wrote that in 2022, and I think that word came out of the Scream film from 2022. So I don't think I put it in there. But it should have been in there.
Yeah, definitely. Josh came up with it first. Yeah. Put that in your pipe, Scream.
Take the credit.
Oh, well, guys, thanks so much for chatting. Like, I mean, I think we can all agree, like, it is a pretty decent sequel. You know, you can have a really good time watching it. And yeah, just have a little bit of fun and laugh at Jack Black getting killed off. Yeah, no, he's just, no wonder he didn't want to be credited in it. He was, bless him. I love Jack Black, bless him, but
I know.
not so much in this film. Larissa said, was more it being a slasher and a daughter being victim to a serial killer? Yeah, because obviously Lois Duncan's daughter got killed by a serial killer in real life, like obviously way after the books came out, and it's all very tragic, very tragic. Yes, but thank you guys. Like, this has been really fun to chat about, and thanks to everyone in the comments. So do check out, as we've just mentioned, Burn the Negative by Josh and Heads Will Roll, and many others that are probably on my shelves, and I've had to reorganise and can't find anything.
Successful organising.
Yeah. Oh dear, I thought I'd done ever so well, and now, you know, like, I think I've got a bit of a photographic memory, right? So I can picture where certain books are on my shelves, and then because I've moved everything around now, I'm just like, I can't find anything. I don't like it anymore.
Happens in the bookshop, Shelley.
Honestly.
Take some new mental pictures, Shelley.
Yeah. That's it. I just need to sit in my little reading chair and like around, and then I'll be able to find everything then. Narissa said, sorry for the downer. No downer. It's like interesting information, you know, about Lois Duncan and things. So yeah. And Matthew said it was a decent watch back in '99. If you told me we'd be discussing it as a '90s artifact in 2025, that would also make my head spin. And do check out the lovely Emma as well. Emma has some brilliant short stories in Twisted, and you've just been a judge, haven't you, Emma, for another Twisted book?
Twisted Volume 3. And if anyone fancies writing a short horror story and getting it in an anthology, there's another competition for Twisted 50 Volume 4, and so they pick 50. We read like, we must have read 300 stories of entries, and then 50 get into the book. So then we have to whittle it down to who's going to win an award for their story. It's really tough, but there was some really good stories coming through. So if you fancy yourself a horror writer, this is a great place to start. Is exactly where I started writing, with Twisted.
Amazing.
Do if you want any information, ping me a message, and and I'll give you all the info.
And there's some really fantastic stories in it, really creepy as well. Like, I was reading some of these before bed once, and I was like,
Oh no,
"Oh, I'm
Shelley.
not sleeping tonight." I know, definitely. Oh, and a huge thank you to Scarlett for being
Thank
a very, very special
you.
guest and chatting
Thank
sequels with
you.
us. Do check out How to Survive a Horror Movie, and obviously the sequel coming out in September, which I can't wait. I've got it on pre-order already. Can't wait for it to come.
Thank you.
But thanks, guys, and
Thank
we'll
Thanks,
see
you.
you
everyone.
next month.
Thank you so much for
See
having
you
Bye.
me. It was so much
later.
fun.
Bye.
Oh,
Bye.
thank
Bye.
Thank
you.
you.
Bye. Don't
Bye.
forget Grease Melody. Woohoo! See you later. Bye.